person, right? This same person said that Angel Reese was a better rookie than Caitlin Clark. I guess they were saying at this moment, but her reason was just nonsensical as well, right? Now, have your opinion, have your take. Everybody has their opinion. Cool. But to say that Caitlin Clark wasn't putting up grown women numbers, oh my goodness, man. I'm going to let y'all hear this.
Thin line. It's really tough dialogue. A big question. If you had to log your vote today, who would your rookie of...
Professional women's basketball faces mounting criticism following disclosures from established USA Today correspondent Christine Brennan, whose recent expose has created substantial upheaval across the sport. The experienced reporter's decades-long involvement monitoring the organization has offered extraordinary perspective into the association's considerable deficiencies considering elite athlete administration. Brennan's thorough examination exposes how the professional league faltered catastrophically upon Iowa standout Caitlin Clark's entrance. The organization's incapacity to accommodate a performer of Clark's magnitude has grown progressively evident through numerous episodes and administrative blunders. Contemporary debates concerning Clark's handling, encompassing her designation as the roster's final selection and the hostile tactical approaches implemented against her, underscore the fundamental problems pervading the institution.
For a superstar like Caitlin Clark, hence why they go through these hoops and hurdles like they be going through, bro. The Gilbert's Arena show just did a segment yesterday talking about her being the ninth player and pretty much them attacking her. Well, if she's so bad, why y'all gotta pretty much guard her full court? Why y'all pretty much gotta hack her every chance you get? That's what the Caitlin Clark effect does to these WNBA players. And quite frankly, they're jealous, bro. All of this stuff is jealousy. They just jealous.
The relentless full-field harassment and combative gameplay targeted at Clark generates inquiries about the reasoning behind such methods. If her capabilities were genuinely inadequate, such concentrated defensive frameworks would prove pointless. Rather, these approaches verify the substantial influence Clark maintains over opposing squads and competitors throughout the circuit. Career envy seems to motivate much of the dispute. Numerous veteran competitors appear bitter that they failed to attain Clark's recognition level and achievement. This persistent friction has grown wearisome for spectators who understand the emotional undercurrents involved.
If you had to log your vote today, who would your rookie of the year be in the WNBA?
I mean, it is a thin line. It's really tight. But when you look at where the teams are, and I also went a little deeper and I looked at plus minus, and I also look at net rating. And when you look at that, Angel Reese has to get the nod. Now, I know it's not a popular position to take because Angel Reese has to do the dirty work. I have said it's not sexy to have to battle and rebound inside and
Brennan's broadcast appearances subsequent to her publication's debut have repeatedly delivered shocking disclosures about the organization's inner workings. Her reputation and comprehensive understanding render these revelations especially meaningful for comprehending the professional league's present difficulties. Based on Indianapolis Star documentation, Brennan's inquiry uncovered the association's total absence of readiness for Clark's influence and the nationwide spotlight accompanying her entrance. This lack of preparation became apparent through multiple institutional breakdowns and squandered possibilities.
And quite frankly, they're jealous, bro. All of this stuff is jealousy. They just jealous that they wasn't the Caitlin Clark. And it's just getting old at this point. Now, Christine Brennan has been on a complete media tour ever since she released this book. And I'm telling you right now, she deserves it because she's been dropping eggshells every day about this damn league. Let's head on over to X right now and check out what the hell I'm talking about, man. Hopefully everybody's having a great day today too, man.
The morning after Clark's announcement for the 2024 professional draft, Brennan reached a senior league administrator to address the approaching transformations. This dialogue proved enlightening concerning the institution's outlook on Clark's prospective impact. The administrator likened Clark's entrance to Maya Moore's league debut, proposing it represented the most substantial development since that period. Nevertheless, Brennan discovered this comparison startling and insufficient. While Moore was certainly gifted and successful, obtaining acknowledgement as women's basketball's greatest champion according to Sports Illustrated in 2017, her influence on general awareness remained restricted.
The battle and rebound inside and where you've got to do the blue-collar work. But this is a player that has come in as a rookie and is putting up grown woman numbers. 12 double-doubles in a row. I mean, in one season. So when you see a young woman come in like that and do that.
It's not pretty when you have to do the dirty work, right? Like creating your own shot all the time and facilitating and running the offense and trying to make sure everybody else get involved.
Moore, regardless of her superiority and merited honors, failed to generate extensive public fascination beyond the sport's current supporters. Clark's circumstances presented a completely different scenario, with possibilities to attract a significantly wider demographic nationwide. Brennan's extended professional league monitoring equipped her with the insight to acknowledge Clark's distinctive potential for general appeal. The organization's administrators, however, seemed oblivious to this opportunity, showing a basic miscomprehension of the evolving environment in women's athletics.
Man. So, it stated, from Dana Benbow in Indy Star, a deep dive into what I'm reporting in on this game. How the WNBA was totally unprepared for the impact of Caitlin Clark and the national scrutiny that came with it. Oh my God. Goodness here, bruh. Article stated, WNBA was totally unprepared for Caitlin Clark. That's unfortunate, but that's what.
The media environment surrounding Clark's collegiate tenure also exposed substantial coverage and recognition gaps. Numerous prominent content producers and sports media figures who currently extensively feature Clark were remarkably absent throughout her Iowa period. This selective focus highlights the cautious character of many media companies and content developers. Certain individuals identified Clark's potential early and dedicated themselves to featuring her throughout her college tenure, frequently encountering criticism and losing followers who preferred other players' coverage. This early commitment to Clark's narrative proved insightful, though it involved personal sacrifice for those who accepted the risk. The coverage inequality becomes clear when analyzing various media outlets and creators' historical content. Examining their earliest material shows minimal focus on Clark during her collegiate years.
And trying to make sure everybody else get involved with the offense. You know, it's not pretty doing that dirty work either, huh? Oh my goodness. Yo. And then talking about grown woman numbers. Grown woman numbers. Oh my goodness. All right, anyway. Let's go ahead and get to this one though. All right. This is the one I want to show y'all. Hold on. Let me make sure y'all can see this good. Okay, yeah. So, this is the one that got me today, man. All right.
Brennan's evaluation of the organization's lack of preparation extends beyond simple negligence to systematic problems within the institution. The exchange between Brennan and league administrators disclosed a total lack of strategic preparation for Clark's influence. This preparation deficit originated from the organization's inability to imagine such achievement within women's basketball. According to Brennan, the professional league's management had grown so familiar with functioning in men's sports shadow that they couldn't envision accomplishing mainstream breakthrough achievement.
Clark, that's unfortunate, but that's what happened. Now, we ultimately know that is what happened. The day after Caitlin Clark declared for the 2024 WNBA Draft, USA Today columnist Christine Brennan made a phone call to a top official in the league. Do you know how big this is? So Christine Brennan, like many of us, knew that the Caitlin Clark effect was going to be huge for this league. Then it went on to say, that official said Clark arrival was the biggest thing to happen to the league since.
The institution's hesitation to accept secondary status may have hindered them from identifying and preparing for revolutionary opportunities. This perspective restricted their capacity to exploit Clark's unique appeal and the extraordinary interest she created. The shift from collegiate to professional basketball introduced distinctive challenges the organization failed to anticipate. Historical evidence suggested collegiate following seldom transferred to professional women's basketball, making Clark's influence appear improbable to many observers.
This is the one that got me today, man. All right, let me go ahead and play this for y'all.
You were at that game just now. Look, the Fever have been on a tear. They've won 2 in a row, a 25-point blowout of the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then 27 against the Aces in this one. And both of those games without Caitlin Clark. How is Indiana getting this done right now?
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so
This doubt permeated the media environment, with numerous outlets and creators reluctant to invest in Clark's narrative due to perceived dangers. The absence of historical success in converting college interest to professional women's basketball made supporting Clark appear like a considerable risk. However, those who identified Clark's exceptional appeal and committed to featuring her story early showed superior understanding of women's sports changing dynamics. These individuals comprehended that Clark's situation differed fundamentally from previous collegiate stars. Clark's influence evidence became undeniable through attendance statistics and fan participation. A particular instance occurred during her initial preseason contest, where supporters waited outside the venue for hours before entry. This enthusiasm level for preseason professional action was unprecedented.
To happen to the league since Maya Moore came into the league. What? Wait, Brennan was shocked. Moore, a Hall of Famer, was called the greatest winner in the history of women's basketball by Sports Illustrated in 2017. Now, she was talented, beloved superstar in the league, and she deserved all the attention. But outside of that, Moore went virtually unnoticed. These are facts, bro. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. The article goes on to say, Caitlin Clark, she was going to capture the attention of an entire.
The contrast with previous seasons was dramatic. In 2023, the Indiana Fever averaged roughly 4,000 supporters per contest. Clark's arrival transformed these figures substantially, proving early predictions about her mainstream appeal valid. Security staff working at the venue entrance during Clark's debut were overwhelmed by the unprecedented fan interest. This participation level for a preseason contest had never been observed in the organization's history. The reluctance to embrace Clark's potential extended beyond organizational leadership to media coverage trends. Many outlets and creators avoided featuring the young Iowa player, possibly due to various demographic and cultural factors.
The ball-dominant guard, the ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons. And Kelsey Mitchell is playing out of her mind. Aaliyah Boston, I talked to Stephanie White before the game. She said in year one, Aaliyah Boston was back to the basket. Year two, two-man game. Year three, they're using her as a decision maker. And so when you have a point guard like Kelsey Mitchell and
This hesitation proved expensive for those who failed to identify Clark's appeal early. Her collegiate career already showed impressive viewership figures, but mainstream media largely ignored these indicators of her potential professional influence. The transition to professional basketball amplified Clark's visibility exponentially. While collegiate sports maintained more limited audiences, the professional platform provided the stage for Clark's appeal to reach maximum potential. Current coverage patterns expose the opportunistic nature of much media attention. Many outlets and creators now extensively feature Clark primarily because of the substantial viewership and engagement she produces, rather than from authentic early recognition of her abilities.
Clark, she was going to capture the attention of an entire nation. Brennan had been covering Caitlin Clark WNBA for years, and she could see it coming this officially clear. And they had no idea. Now, something I would say, guys, a lot of these content creators were not covering Caitlin Clark at Iowa. They just wasn't. Some of your biggest ones, some of your favorite Caitlin Clark channels, they didn't give a care about Caitlin Clark when she was at Iowa. But guess who did? Guess who been covering Caitlin Clark since she was at Iowa? Your boy, John.
This situation has generated tension between those who supported Clark throughout her development and those who only began coverage after her success became obvious. The genuineness of current support becomes questionable when examined against historical coverage patterns. The organization's continued difficulties with managing Clark's influence show ongoing institutional inadequacies. Neither the professional league nor major sponsors like Nike have successfully navigated the opportunities and challenges Clark's unprecedented appeal presents.
And Ari McDonald making plays on the perimeter and a post like Aaliyah Boston. I'm going to tell you, Indiana, they are a threat, and specifically on the defensive end. Stephanie is so pleased with the intensity that they're bringing defensively with their length, their switches.
All right, I just had to cut it, man. I had to cut it because there's no way you believe that the Indiana Fever are a better team without Caitlin Clark. There's no.
These management failures represent missed opportunities for the organization to establish itself as a major professional sports force. The inability to properly utilize Clark's popularity suggests deeper structural problems within the institution. The situation serves as an example of how established organizations can fail to identify and adapt to transformative opportunities. The professional league's experience with Clark reveals the dangers of institutional thinking that restricts vision and strategic planning.
Your boy John Liquidator, bruh. Your boy John Liquidator been covering Caitlin Clark since she was at Iowa. Some of your favorite channels just was not, bro. They didn't think or know that she was going to be as big as she was. I knew when she was at Harvard, she was going to be Michael Jeffrey Jordan 2.0, bro. I seen it coming. No one else did. I was getting crucified by everybody for making Caitlin Clark videos and when she was in college. I was covering the Colorado Buffaloes.
Brennan's evaluation provides valuable understanding of these organizational failures and the cultural elements that contributed to them. Her extended perspective and credibility make her observations particularly significant for understanding women's professional basketball's current state. Clark's influence evolution continues challenging conventional wisdom about women's sports and mainstream appeal. Her success has fundamentally changed expectations for what's achievable in professional women's basketball.
You believe that the Indiana Fever are a better team without Caitlin Clark. There's no way you believe that. No way you believe that. Fam, did you just forget they lost to the Sparks? They lost to the Connecticut Sun? Are you kidding me? Do you think they would have dropped those games if Caitlin Clark was playing? Do you think they would have dropped those games? Now, of course, it has to be just, well, you know, you remove Caitlin and now they play better. It couldn't be the fact that they're starting to gel. It couldn't be the fact that
the organization's future success may depend on its ability to learn from these early errors and develop more sophisticated approaches to managing exceptional talent and the attention it generates. The Clark phenomenon represents both an opportunity and a test case for the professional league's organizational maturity. The broader implications extend beyond individual player management to questions about the organization's strategic vision and its ability to capitalize on breakthrough moments. The lessons learned from Clark's early professional experience will likely influence how the association approaches similar situations in the future.
I was in college. I was covering the Colorado Buffaloes at the time, and I was reporting on Caitlin Clark. I lost half my damn fan base for reporting on Caitlin Clark and not Angel. I see the trajectory. Hence why my views don't show what my channel is, because half of my channel was another fan base. The other half is Caitlin Clark. See, other channels don't have them problems. They watch the Caitlin Clark stuff, but me, I knew Caitlin Clark was going to be big.
The ongoing discussion surrounding these issues reflects the passionate engagement of fans and media who recognize the significance of this moment in women's sports history. The debate about preparation, recognition, and management continues to evolve as Clark's career progresses. The entertainment value and competitive impact of Clark's presence in the organization cannot be disputed. Her ability to generate interest, fill venues, and drive viewership represents exactly the kind of transformative influence that professional sports organizations typically seek to cultivate and maximize.